Imagine earning £80,000 from a game you poured your life into, only to have PayPal freeze every single penny. This happened to a game developer on Steam, leaving him unable to pay a massive tax bill, all because the game had adult themes. The sad truth is, this isn't an isolated incident. This can happen to any of us, a small business, a freelancer, or anyone who uses these platforms to get paid. The full story comes from a Reddit post on Legal Advice UK, where a developer found himself in a nightmare situation. He had created a perfectly legal adult game and was waiting for a huge payment to pay his company's tax bill to the UK government known as HMRC. The money's path was straightforward. The game was sold on Steam, Steam paid the lead developer's company, the lead developer then sent the developer's share, all £80,000 to his PayPal account. But the moment the money arrived, PayPal froze it. When the developer explained the money came from an adult game, PayPal told him he had violated their rules and refused to release the funds. This left him stuck for the past few weeks, unable to pay a massive tax bill, saying they demanded I link the store page of the game. He listened, and as he put it, when they realized it was an adult game, they refused to release my money. Which I think is interesting because if they sent a Steam link, that means the game is still on Steam and wasn't removed in the initial censorship wave. The situation gets even worse though. The developer revealed in the comments that he and his partner were forced to use PayPal in the first place because they had already been debanked. He said, "I've had my business accounts closed down by 3 major high street banks and rejected by almost every app bank like Wise and Revolut. We've basically been forced into using PayPal to facilitate transactions as it was the last way we were able to send money to each other." Which is really just another example of how people in these high-risk industries or with opinions that the companies disagree with are common victims of debanking. Now, you might wonder, how does PayPal have this much power over a legal business? And it all comes down to their acceptable use policy. This is a document you agree to when you sign up. It's a set of rules that lets them ban or restrict content they don't like, even if it's perfectly legal. The policy bans anything sexually oriented, and the reason they give is that they are protecting their relationships with banks and credit card companies like Visa and MasterCard. One of PayPal's rules is that you have to follow the rules of MasterCard and Visa. If they don't follow the rules that are set by Visa and MasterCard, they risk being cut off. We've recently seen this happen in action with Steam. Valve confirmed that a major acquiring bank that processes PayPal transactions terminated service for Steam purchases in most currencies. This was directly tied to adult content on the platform. So just like the developer asked, is it legal for them to do this? And the short answer is, unfortunately, yes. When you clicked I agree on their terms of service, you agreed for them to do this. They can legally freeze funds for up to 180 days while they investigate. But they can't just flat out steal the money, even if you did break one of their rules, though they can take out fees or fines. The only way for PayPal to be able to hold the money longer than 180 days is if they have a court order or some other legal process, but obviously for anyone, waiting half a year for your own money is a huge problem. Now, this is what they want you to think, but it's not what happens. Like we mentioned with the fees, fines, or penalties, they are able to take any money to pay for them, but they don't really mention a specific amount, which is why in many cases, people say that PayPal just kept all their money. Some people have even tried to file class action lawsuits over it, but they got thrown out. It shows how these large corporations have too much power and can destroy a person's livelihood for a simple policy violation. Running with Scissor Studios, the people behind Postal 2 have even said this today: "Payment systems fucking people over isn't a new thing. This one-hitter glass pipe got us banned from PayPal, and they took a lot of money from us in the process, which we never got back to this day. PayPal can't be good for you, and it certainly won't make you feel great." So this same thing has happened to countless other people, even with times where they keep the money too. And this control goes far beyond just adult content. PayPal has proven it wants to police speech as well. In 2022, a new policy update came to light that would have allowed the company to fine users $2,500 for quote-unquote misinformation. While they quickly reversed it due to public backlash, it revealed that they believe they have the right to not only control your money, but also to punish you for what you say. So this isn't the only time this has happened. The company also deplatformed several groups and individuals who were seen as politically or socially controversial. So seeing as in this case the developer did break one of PayPal's rules, the sexually oriented content, it is unknown if he will be able to get the money back, or even any of it. PayPal can just say that the game could have caused so much in damages, and then keep all the money to pay for it, which is why this is a common thing that has happened time and time again. So although in PayPal's rules they say the holds are for 180 days, in many cases that's simply just not true. So when you add in the fact that this developer for Steam seemingly needed the money to pay a massive tax bill, it very well could bring more problems to the developer and make the situation even worse. This clearly shows that people should stop relying on PayPal, especially as it has a clear history of deplatforming, and I'm sure there are even more game developers out there who were also impacted in a similar way, but maybe it was less money or maybe they just didn't feel like publicly talking about it. I would say that for anyone else who is still using PayPal, to look into better solutions that are known to be more friendly to different types of industries. We know Valve and Itch are both doing something similar, looking for different payment processors that are more friendly towards this type of content. So although in PayPal's rules they say the holds are for 180 days, in many cases that's simply just not true.